Hi guys, this is Radio and this is Sunset Arts. We are reviewing,
Mad Max Fury Road.
and this is
Anthony.
and
I'm Jacob.
so we are reviewing Mad Max Fury Road. What is our first thoughts on the movie? Who wants to go first on that?
It's complete wall-to-wall action for the
First,
entire duration, like right from the beginning.
there was no dialogue in like the first like 10 minutes, I think.
At least, probably, yeah.
Spoiler alert! So we're actually going to talk like everything about the movie.
Yeah, the action was great. All of the scenes were filmed really well. It was just overall, it was a great movie.
I like the coordination and like the action scene. It's like crazy how they did that. But
I was really hyped to see this. I was
like a new version of yeah.
It's like a modern take. I loved it. It was great, just action, like Jacob said. The entire movie.
It never really stopped though when you think about it. Like there was I think when they got to the mothers, that's when it kind of slowed down. But after that, it picked back up, and you're already seeing people die in car crashes.
It's like one giant scene almost. That's what it felt like, in a way, until they get to the Greenland, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was the green with that sludge or whatever, not the sludge, but the mud fields when they got through that. But let's get into like the actors. So we have Charlize Theron, Tom Hardy, and then Nicholas Hoult. Who do they play?
So Nicholas Hoult is a character named Nux. He's one of the war boys. He's kind of like a bad guy turned good. Ends up helping the main protagonist.
Redemption.
Yeah,
That's kind of like a big thing.
that's a big theme in this movie is redemption. And then we have Tom Hardy, obviously playing Mad Max. Man of few words, man of he's pretty much all action. And then we have Charlize Theron.
Yeah. Let's say that.
He's playing Furiosa, who's I would say is kind of like the main character.
Yeah, I think they're making a spin-off on her, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, those are the main characters, really. Yeah.
Got anything to say on all the characters? You good?
No, yeah, that covers it.
Oh, and then obviously the wives that was the reason why they had that
The
big
whole
chase.
story kind of circles around 5 wives.
We don't know their names, but they're
Right.
beautiful young ladies. Yes.
They've all been basically maintained inside the caves to like they're trying to produce.
Yeah, like you see like
purely
this
human.
when he figures out her Sherry or Furiosa's plot to take the wives. Yeah.
They're being kept in a vault.
So let's get. Go ahead.
And then we got the antagonist, Immortal Joe.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, that was another pretty good character, I thought.
Yeah. He
Crazy.
didn't say much.
Yeah.
Yelled a lot.
Very polarizing, yeah.
So let's get into the plot then. I guess. Beginning. You kind of have that weird scene with him getting chased. Oh no, he eats a lizard and then gets chased, gets captured, tries to get.
Immediately right away.
Yeah, tries to escape immediately. And then after that, they basically have that scene where I think they have like they're gonna get fuel, right? Then they're taking that left turn, and then they see him from
East.
and then as soon as they see it from like the Citadel, which is like the base of what's his name again? Sorry.
Immortal Joe, yeah.
They take off, and then they basically have like a war party chasing them throughout the movie, and that's how basically the movie starts up. Who dies? Who's the big first character? I guess that dies. It's the pregnant one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she dies first. Oh, but then there was like
He gets knocked off the war rig.
But then before that, with Nux, there was like always an exchange of him, always going like between, I guess, the war party and then their little thing that they were getting. What is that called? Like their rig.
The War Rig?
Yeah, their war rig that was being chased by the war party, obviously. And then they get to the canyon. They apparently they made that deal. After that,
I think at first there was a fight scene between
Oh,
Furiosa and
yeah.
Mad Max.
that was probably my favorite scene in the movie.
Yeah. Probably one of the best scenes, I think.
Yeah, the choreography on that must have been
So
a
it
bitch.
turned out that they were both escaping at the same time, but for different reasons.
Right.
And so Mad Max was trying to take advantage of them having the war rig in order to
Yeah,
aid his own escape.
I mean, like you said, the main thing is just he's learned to
Trust himself and
trust
no one else.
himself and just really survive and hope.
I think
What do you say, hope?
He had a line too. Oh, Hope was
Hope is,
D-
what do you say, useless or something like that? Hope's just not.
Hope kills you or something like that. Slowly kills you or something. I think it's something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But after that, they had that cool scene though when they're going through the canyons and stuff, and they're also being chased, and then the monster truck going over the blown up arch. And then that's when she dies. After I think soon right after that, and they have those crazy. That was like really. I mean, they were throwing those like hand grenade
It was
explosions.
the first wife that died. She was pregnant at the time.
Yeah, his
And
favorite.
Also, yeah, his favorite of the 5 wives.
And then we find out that she was impregnated with the boy, and then our the funniest scene probably in the movie was when Rectus says like, or the doctor repeats or tells him like, oh, it was a boy, he would have been perfect, and then he repeats it, and it
Yeah.
sounds like an idiot, but yeah.
Victus Erectus is just kind of the hulking bad guy, the physical threat really, because no one else, everything else is just the cars and
He's pretty funny though, like when
yeah,
all
he's
those
kinda, like,
lines
dumb
are
funny.
Yeah.
Or like an airhead.
And then after that, they get into more of the open desert, and then that's when they get to the all usually before that all the parties meet up obviously, and then they go through that mud fields, which we find out later is the green place.
Right.
And then they get that's when Nux really turns.
That was their objective the
Yeah.
whole time too. Was to get. They were trying to escape. Furiosa was taking the 5 wives to the green place,
Where she originally came from.
which was where she was born.
Yes.
So, but they passed it without knowing it,
Yeah.
and ended up meeting up with
The mother,
people who used to
yeah,
also
the
live
the
there.
last of the mothers.
Family and
yeah.
friends of Furiosa from when she was a kid.
And then they have like this. That was when the action scenes kind of cut down, and then they went to.
I think
No, they decided okay, we're gonna go back, or no, that was when they split up the bikes, and they gave him a Mad Max a bike, but then he makes the decision to help
Said
him
that
out.
He was gonna take his own path. Furiosa offered for Mad Max to remain with their group.
Yeah.
He originally decided that he was gonna go out on his own, and they were gonna try to cross the salt flats.
But he's like, there's nothing there.
Right, and so
What
he
are you
ended
doing?
up catching up with them and convincing them to turn back.
Go to the Citadel and
go
then make that
after
their
Citadel.
permanent home.
Right.
And then basically it's just a straight race back, and then you have that last scene where Joe dies, and then it's a pretty cool scene with her words is like "Remember me," and he rips his face off.
yeah, she sticks like a harpoon in his mask and to the tire, rips his face off. It was pretty cool.
Oh, and then Nux dies or sacrifices himself, and then
In
that's
order to help
that's
them
and then
escape.
that's his redemption, I
Yeah,
guess.
they took the exact same route that they took out to the green place. They took that exact same route back. So when they were going back under the arch, they blew up the rig or part of it, and that was able to stop the war party from following them through.
And then basically they make it back on one piece, and then basically everyone there was like, good that he. I think they showed him the dead body. They were like they celebrated, tore him apart, and then that was the end of the movie. And then let's get into I guess the pros and cons of the movie, because I mean, what was the pros of the movie? I guess.
As I said, I love the entire movie. The only thing was the cheesy CGI scene with the.
Well, I mean the storm was pretty good, done pretty well, but
Yeah, I mean that was the only cheesy
That was like-
CGI
yeah.
scene was the scene of the guitar and the wheel.
where Nux dies.
Yeah, where Nux sacrifices himself and the debris flying at the screen is kind of.
I don't know. That made me mad.
It
Kind
looked
of.
like it was designed for 3D. I'm not sure if they had
Yeah,
an
kind of.
IMAX version.
We watched it in regular like the
Right, yeah.
regular standard, so
It looked like it was designed for 3D, but it did not work on a regular screen.
it looked terrible. Yeah, it looked like it was from like the 90s or something. Some just terrible. But I mean pros. Like what was our favorite scene then? I guess.
My favorite scene is when they're in the land of crows and Max goes back into the storm.
Oh yeah,
and you see the explosion. He comes back with all this ammo, blood on him, and he comes back with a boot to give to Nux.
yeah.
And he just kind of leaves it like up in the air for you to just imagine what he did
And
to
then
those guys.
she asks him like, "Oh, who is that? Your blood? You're bleeding." Yeah.
No, doesn't that
That's
hurt? You're
not.
bleeding.
And then
Not his blood.
yeah. Furiosa says it's not his blood. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
What about you, Jacob?
I think my favorite scene was actually in the beginning, when he's trying to escape from the war boys in the very, very beginning. He's trying to get out of their caves, and there's a pretty good chase scene with a whole bunch of, I think, like 6, 7, 8 of the war boys are trying to run him down. And you think that he's going to escape, or you get that feeling. And, right, and so he ends up getting pulled back in right at the very end. So I thought that was a really well shot scene.
Mine was very similar. That one was Furioso and his and Mad Max's fight scene. It was like kind of it had that speed up, and they would go back to the current frames, I guess. But it was kind of if you guys watch like Three Stooges, that kind of it reminded me of that too. I don't know. That's made it seem nicer. Yeah.
Another scene of mine that I liked was when Furiosa realizes that there's no Greenland, and she kind of
Oh, that was a beautiful. That was one of the best looking scenes probably in the whole movie.
Captivating.
It was kind of sad though when she like finds out. It's like, well, we just came all this way for nothing. That kind of sucked. Oh, and I kind of was sad when the older mother with the seeds too died too. That was. So let's get into I guess our scoring. What would we recommend this to everyone or?
I mean, yeah, if you're into just action nonstop, I would go see it. Especially if you're into the apocalyptic kind of theme. A lot of modern day stuff is based off of the Mad Max series.
I would say try to watch it at like the best quality you can see it in theaters too.
Yeah.
Like I mean, IMAX would be awesome, but I mean, no, there's other theaters that have like custom, the screens and then custom surround sound. So that would be the best probably to watch it, and then 3D too.
Right. Yeah. So I definitely think that it's worth going to see in theaters. I know ticket prices are kind of expensive, but it's definitely worth going right away if you're a fan of action films. And the one downside is that there is a lack of dialogue, so you do have to pay attention to make sure, especially if you're not familiar with the previous Mel Gibson Mad Max films, you need to pay attention to make sure you can follow the story because there's not going to be a lot of dialogue to help you along.
Yeah, definitely I would definitely watch a couple of the other Mad Max before you watch this. Another thing I wanted to was the thing I was talking about with you with when Tom Hardy probably read the script and he was probably like, "I'll do this," you know. I'm just gonna be the lawless. I'm gonna be the lawless guy, but I'm gonna have an accent now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same lawless, same accent. Just like, what did he say? He's like, "What a beautiful day, isn't it today?" Like, it's just the same.
Yeah. But it fits him though. And if you guys didn't see, I think it was a drop. He was the same kind of guy too in that movie. But yeah. So I would definitely go watch it. I wouldn't even like this. The $10 you would spend to go see it, definitely a good watch.
Definitely.
Yeah. All right, so this is our review, guys. Like, subscribe, share, and we'll see you guys later in another review or video. See you guys.